Polar Veil is the sixth full-length album from Hexvessel, and this is a Finland-based, I guess, psychedelic folk rock, progressive, go anywhere it pleases sort of group that's sort of the brainchild of Matt McNerney, who is now best known for. I guess Grave Pleasures, the kind of gothic rock post-punk band, as well as groups like Code and his stint in Dod Heimskard. So this is an interesting record because it still retains a lot of the sound that they've been leaning into on the last two records. I really like the last record from this band, Kindred, and they keep some of that affect and some of that station, the feeling of it, the delivery of it, while moving towards atmospheric black metal. And I mean, in the instrumental sense, they really do have a lot of crawling, frankly, almost Burzum-esque pieces on here, late, mid to late 90s. In terms of the guitar work, and there's plenty of other precedents for that, but the way that these records crawl along, use synth to accentuate certain melodies, and have general put to use harmonies and clean vocals throughout. It's not really a black metal record. It's not really a folk black metal record. It's not really a progressive black metal record, but you get a hint of all of those things feeding into the Hexvessel sound this time around. And it makes for this kind of amazing narrative because it puts you in this very unique place, this cabin on the hill with this wintry atmosphere throughout. But then the poetic voice of the vocalist really carries us through that adventure, and not in a typical way. It's in his own voice, which is very unique and well spoken. So we'll cut to a clip here and get on with it here.
I read, I spread, I read to the ground, I shine, I glide, I descend.
So what struck me about McNerney's work, especially with these artists over the years, is that they've been able to move from sort of a jammed, let's see what fits kind of ideal to songs that really all count. Every song on these records count, and Polar Veil is a great example of that, where none of these feel like they were so experimental or jammed or thrown together that they missed their point or they don't realize their potential. And I feel like every song on here has its moment that has its hook, it has its grab, it has its moment that is resonant and important. So this does make it a little bit of an additive thing. It's an accumulation of all of the better aspects of not only Hexvessel's sort of career over the years, but McNerney's career over the years, where a lot of the things that he does best are all stacking on top of each other for this record, which is maybe bigger than they intended it to be, or just it's just especially good in terms of creating a moment or conveying a point that is very vivid and pretty easy to enjoy here, between the atmospheric affect of it and just the catchy, sometimes gothic, sometimes very dreadful feeling of it, which is just effective throughout. Anyway, it's a great record. I found myself listening to it over and over, and all the guest spots were very effective. We've got Nameless Void from Negative Plane in here, providing guitars in a couple of songs, and it adds to the eerie, kind of doomed strangeness of this record. So this is a pretty high recommendation for me this month. I wasn't expecting to like this as much as the last record, but I'm kind of growing to like it even more. I feel like this is one of the best Hexvessel records to date, and it's well worth your time if you're hesitating, thinking that it's going to be this or that, because it's this is kind of a merger of many worlds. It's a singular portal blurred. It's a really interesting thing, and I think it's worth checking out if you're prone to try out something that's a little bit different, but effective as music nonetheless. So that comes out tomorrow. Go ahead and check it out when it does, and read the review for more information.